Welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica Foley. Along with me, we have Mayor Duval Arthur with the town of Berwick. And unlike some of our neighboring towns and cities, you guys are moving forward with your festival that's going to be coming up in November. We just went through kind of a shutdown, or cancellation rather, with the Shrimp Petroleum Festival, which would have been in early September, and just some other festivals. I think Patterson postponed, canceled. We don't know just yet. Maybe moving into October, but right now they didn't have it in September.
Right.
So you guys are moving forward. Why you think you want to do that?
Well, we don't want to be a super spreader. That's certainly not our goal. We're very concerned about the public safety and the COVID-19. We did this festival last year. We did it successfully last year by keeping people separated. We put chairs out where people would not be close together. They'd be able to watch the bands performing. They could dance if they wanted to. But it was all open air. Everything was outside. We didn't have any carnival rides or anything like that. But this year we are going to have some carnival rides. We have some Class A #1 bands that'll be playing. We've already contracted with them to have them come and play. We're just hoping that by November, the COVID-19 has slowed down enough that we can feel comfortable doing it and just being very cautious.
You guys kind of have the pick of the litter when it comes to bands. You're like the first one. I know a lot of these bands are just itching to play. And do you recall who are some of the bands that you have scheduled to play?
Chewies.
Oh, okay.
They're very popular locally. Wayne Toops.
Come on.
And Kyle Daigle. Old Soul.
Okay. You definitely got the pick of the litter.
We do.
Definitely.
We didn't have any problem finding bands because most of them have been at, they're wanting to perform, but just doing it on a small venue. Not that our festival is a big venue, but and that's one of the selling points. Our festival is not publicized throughout the state. We just do it locally for local people. And it has been very successful for us.
And for those wondering when the festival is, it's November 5th through the 7th. And is that like a Thursday through Saturday or Friday through Sunday?
Friday through Sunday.
Yeah, Friday through Sunday. Again, it's the Lighthouse Festival. It's also held in conjunction. Is that also during the same time period as the Tour de Teche?
Actually, it's not going to be at the same time. The Tour de Teche will take place on the first weekend in October. So it's coming up real soon.
Okay.
But it will be different from Tour de Teche races in the past.
Yeah.
So and there's a new management that's running the Tour de Teche, and we have a meeting with them Friday, a safety meeting, and we're going to be meeting in Franklin. And because the Tour de Teche starts off way up the river and comes all the way down. So it goes to a lot of areas, and we're going to have people from all those areas there at that meeting to talk about safety.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has become kind of a big draw. I know over the years you get a lot of the locals to come out and kind of cheer on these kayakers and canoers who actually travel. They're not just from Louisiana. They travel from all over parts of the country to come to Tour de Teche.
We had some from Canada.
That's right.
And I think they're going to be back this year. So that's a popular sport in Canada. And it's becoming very popular down here right now.
Okay, awesome. So that is going to be in October, and then followed up in November, we'll have the Lighthouse Festival. Also with the Bears, the ham radio organization, will they also be joining you for Tour de Teche, or would it be for Lighthouse?
I'm not sure. They had their Lighthouse Day about 3 weeks ago, and they did it. It was very successful. They contacted a lot of people, and I went out and visited with them. We're putting together some little packets right now to send out to people that did make contact with the Bears. Um, Jackie Price and that organization have done a wonderful job, and we appreciate them. And going through a storm right now, we become very close to having to depend upon the Bears for communications. So
right.
they're important, and we feel that we want to continue to support them.
Awesome. Well, that was only one topic and one segment, so we've got a lot of ground to cover, so come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. We have a lot to discuss with the town of Berwick. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, my guest for today is Mayor Duval Arthur with the town of Berwick. Now, kind of the highlight, breaking news, and I'm here to say that there's a little bit of a change in that breaking news that kind of went out earlier in the week. Sleep in. I can tell you, I was driving down 90, headed towards Morgan City, and I look off to the left, and I see someone pressure washing the parking lot to the sleep in that was closed up for so long. It was a beautiful hotel that opened up, I don't know how many years ago, but it was almost like as fast as they opened, they closed, and it had been kind of just closed off to the public. However, to see life at the parking lot, we're like, okay, what's coming? Are they reopening? What's the new project? And from what we heard earlier was that it was going to reopen, but it was going to be rented out as kind of temporary residence to some of the linemen and also government officials or government workers, and that has since changed.
That was the original plan. They had contacted the owners of the hotel about doing just that. And it was kind of agreed upon that they were going to open it up. But since they made that communication, they found a place for them. So they've got a place in Houma where they're staying at now. So they don't need that facility. It's my understanding of talking to officials in Houma that they were going to attempt to use the sleep-in as a FEMA extended shelter for people that it'll be long-term, what they call long-term shelter, or people that have had the house totally destroyed and they have no place to go, and they're going to put them up at that sleep-in. They're going to, it's my understanding, FEMA is going to rent the whole facility and going to provide the rooms for people that need long-term sheltering.
Question for you, because that place has been kind of just shut up for so long, what's the condition? Because on the outside, I think you can see a little bit of like grass, because when they cut the grass, the little green on the outside. What's the condition inside?
Well, if you go by there now, all the grass has been cut.
Okay.
The building's been steam cleaned. The inside of that building was just like the day they closed it. It is immaculate. It really is. And I was so impressed with the cleanliness of the rooms of the hotel, the interior of it. I mean, it's just like they were open all this time.
Okay.
And they
actually,
left the air conditioning on in the building, and they had climate control going on, so it kept it warm in the winter and cool in the summer. So they never really got any mildew or mold or anything inside.
That kind of reminds me then, if they kept all this going, obviously just so it could keep the place going, do you think are they going to anticipate opening it again?
I feel like they had contacted the town of Berwick about setting that facility up as an extended living type of, like Maison Jourdain.
For assisted living center?
Right,
Okay.
assisted living center for people that needed assistance in day-to-day living. We were all for that. We thought they were going to do it, but it was just too costly having a new sprinkler system put in. And there was just a lot of other expenses that were involved in it. So the company decided against that, the ones that own it, which are, the owners live in Gretna, and they manage that motel.
Okay, so assisted living center is kind of off the, but do you think maybe it might be reconsidered to be opened again as a motel?
I definitely feel like it's going to be considered as opening up as a motel.
Okay, do we know maybe why it closed? Like what was why it opened.
Only
so
thing I
quickly
ever
and closed?
understood from it was that at the time of the downturn, that things slowed down and they just didn't have enough people staying there to justify keeping the doors open.
Okay. All right. Well, again, that's one other subject. I'm going to try to hit these and keep them going, but interesting discussion because I know a lot of folks were wondering what was going on. Is it going to reopen? Because we like to see businesses thriving and flourishing within St. Mary Parish. But come on back. We've got much more to discuss right here on The Voice of the Coast with yours truly. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, I am your host, Danica Foley Long. With me, we have Mayor Duval Arthur with the town of Berwick. We're going to hit them really quickly because we're down to 2 more segments, and I know we can talk. I know I can talk, but I love the conversation. Pandemic monies. I've been talking to all of our mayors about this American Recovery Plan, and you guys are getting a whopping sum, about $1.6 million. And of course,
Yep.
I think they divvied up in like 2 different payments. Where is it going?
We have 18 projects in the town of Berwick that we're going to be doing, and most of them involve the work on the roof at the Civic Center. One of the fire stations we have has got some damage. We want to do some work in them. We want to add a building at the Brown House for use for exhibits and for storage of records and things like that.
Okay, kind of like your own archives. Okay.
Yeah, archives.
All right.
And then we've got to put a basketball court and a pickleball court under the bridge.
Pickleball.
Pickleball.
That's such a big thing, right? I know
It is,
pickleball. So
yeah.
that's good that you're going to have an indoor, and now you're going to have an outdoor
Right.
location. But I'm sorry, continue.
Well, again, this is dealing with the COVID-19. So you're supposed to be doing projects that will be healthier for people versus crowding them all up in one room.
Right.
We're going to have some outdoor activities, outdoor pickleball, outdoor basketball. So that's a good thing.
Okay. Awesome.
Now, some of the other items and things we're doing, some of them are at City Hall. Like we're going to add a walk-up window for people that want to come pay their water
Okay.
bill. So that way they don't have to, come up for a mask or anything else.
Right.
They can just come in and pay their bill.
That's good.
Like
Actually,
a
I
teller
think
window in a bank.
Right, right. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's Berwick, and you're actually situated in a neighborhood.
That's
so especially for the folks who live in the neighborhood, get out and walk a little bit.
That's right.
I will say something about Berwick. You guys are like the healthiest part of St. Mary Parish because you always see people walking or riding their bikes. You have the beautiful walking trail.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me now, guys. You know it's true. You guys utilize
Yep.
your walking trails
right.
a lot, which is good.
Well, we have a beautiful walking trail, the first walking trail, and it's grown to 4.6 miles now. So it's very long,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of people that travel from Bayou Vista from Morgan City to come to the walking trail. And now Bayou Vista is looking, they're going to put a walking trail out there, and we're going to try to marry up somewhere between Berwick and Bayou Vista.
Yes.
So that kids that live in Bayou Vista, they go to Berwick Junior High, can ride their bikes
Yeah.
all the way,
Yeah.
and or walk home from school. I just think it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
And it'll make our walking trail even better.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. So that was only just a portion, but you guys
Right.
you have about 18 projects slated for your
Right.
$1.6 million. That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
That's good. When you get with the mayors, do you ever kind of, really just compare notes? Hey, what are you guys doing with your money?
Well, I think we've all talked about that, all the mayors. We have a mayor's luncheon once a month, and we talked about this. Most of them are going after drainage issues, water meters, sewer lines. That's a safe way to spend the money, but we'd like to that has nothing to do with COVID-19, you know. We want to spend the money for what it was meant to, which is help people recover from this COVID-19.
Are you outing these mayors right now? It sounds like
No.
you are throwing them under the bus,
no,
Mayor.
we're all doing the same thing, and I hope they all will do the same thing I'm doing. Offer things to people to make them healthier and safer.
Yes. And speaking of offering something to make people healthier and safer, I definitely want to talk about post-Ida and what the town of Berwick is doing, but we'll have to talk about that when we come back for our last segment. So come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast on KWBJ TV 22. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. This is our final segment with the town of Berwick Mayor Duval Arthur. And we've kind of saved this to the end, but post-Ida. Ida is come and gone. She's out of here, but of course the remnants still affect us. And just for St. Mary Parish, I've said it once, I'll say it again, we were definitely blessed. We survived. However, our neighbors to the east of us, we just, I think in South Louisiana, we're just resilient, compassionate people. And, you know, we couldn't, you know, go on with our lives and not be able to help those who are in need. And so a lot of our civic centers, auditoriums have been, are filled with evacuees, also just linemen. In Berwick, who's being housed at your civic center?
We opened our shelter the week of the storm, so we did it pretty quickly. I told the OEP director, Mr. Nakan, that we were prepared to open up, that we have a generator, we have security, our facility, I think, can withstand most storms. But again, we would never open up a shelter before a storm, only afterwards. We opened up, we had 90 people in our facility. They were the facility was being managed by the American Red Cross. They came in and did a good job with that. We also had the Southern Baptist Men's Group that were located at the Bayou Vista Baptist Church. They operated there. They have a big team, and some of them are cooks. They cook all the food. They bring it to our shelter and they feed our people. They also have teams that go out and cut trees, cut limbs, put roofs on houses. These are people that volunteer their time. Most of them are retired, but they are workers, and they just, I'm telling you, there's nothing they can't do.
And from what we understand, they were looking for work. They said, we are here to work. We don't want to sit around. So please let us know where we could go to help. And actually, our very own Sonny actually went out to do an interview with those same individuals. But let's also give some kudos and some props to our community. From what I understand, they really came out in droves to help.
We had so many church groups. We had so many organizations like the Rotary, the Civitan, Kiwanis rather. They cooked food and brought it to the Civic Center to feed those people. I thought that hats off to them. Now, wasn't always success, because Red Cross has a rule on that. In order to bring food there to be served to the evacuees, it has to be in a closed container, like a styrofoam container. If it's not, they can't accept it. So if you bring a pan of food over there, that won't work. They want it in individual styrofoam plates. So,
and that's important to know, because, I mean, we are still dealing with the effects of COVID.
Right.
So I'm sure there's just protocol. And if you want to help, this is what you have to do.
Right. We're down right now. Our numbers are down to 30. But we're going to remain open until the last person goes. And we definitely want to help our brothers and sisters to the east of us. And I feel we were spared, and for that reason, I want to offer our assistance to our friends to our east.
Right. So let's go back home now, and you guys had some projects that you were working on with the town. You guys have a new roof.
Yes,
That's a big deal. And I know people are like, a roof. Yeah, it's a big deal. This is
it
before the
is.
storm.
It's a big
Had
deal.
nothing to do with the storm. You guys have replaced, is it like a 50-plus-year-old roof that was,
That roof was put there in 1953,
oh, well, even
and
longer.
it has leaked since 1953. I don't know who put the roof on. I'm not pointing fingers at them.
Right.
I'm just telling you, it didn't work. And we have tried a lot of things, and they have put a lot of coatings on that roof, and they've done a little bit of everything. It is continued to leak. Not going to have that problem anymore.
Right.
We have a peak roof now, and you know, they're finishing the job today,
Cool. Awesome.
so we're excited.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mayor. As always, thank you guys for always joining us. Make sure to subscribe to us on Facebook, but also on YouTube. We are KWBJ Live. All right, take care.